You wake up tired, you drag yourself through the day tired, you go to bed tired, but then you don't sleep through the night. Then you do it all again the next day. To find a solution to your symptoms, you need to discover the underlying cause. I recently caught up with the founder and CEO of Hotze Health and Wellness Center, Dr. Stephen Hotze. He explained how to deal with a problem that is oftentimes misdiagnosed. Take a look. Dr. Hotze, it's interesting. As much information is out there online today about our bodies and symptoms and the whole bit, we still are in the dark about so many different things. And one of those things is the area that you specialize in, and that is that thing called hormones. I can't tell you how many people say to me, well, do I need those? Yeah, we need those.
Well, everybody's heard about hormones, right? And people know.
Usually it was that sixth grade class that we had. And after that,
And sometimes people say, is it your hormones? I mean, what's going on? You know, you don't want to tell a woman that, but sometimes you ask that question.
Yeah, are you hormonal? Well, sometimes we are.
So people, yeah, that's true. But what is a hormone?
Right.
What is a hormone? What does a hormone do? Well, a hormone is a product that's produced by specific glands in our body that governs the way our cells act, how they function. It tells the cells what to do. So you think of the hormones like your sex hormones. You know, take a little guy who's got a squeaky voice at 12, and at 14 he's got a deep voice, he's got a beard. That's testosterone that made him that way. So the hormones impacted the way his cells function. Women have the female hormones, and then we all have thyroid hormones, and the thyroid hormones govern our body's metabolism, the way we produce energy and function.
Yeah.
So,
but for a lot of us, it's out of sight, out of mind until we have a problem.
Right.
And so to make it tangible in terms of how our bodies are impacted by hormones, it's those things like, I say this over and over again, I get stopped on this probably more than anything else. People say to me, I was super tired, I was gaining weight, couldn't lose the weight, I was depressed, I'm not a depressed person, I couldn't sleep at night, but by the same token, I was falling asleep behind the wheel of a car at a stoplight. You know, so all of those things, I was in a tailspin, and most doctors could not tell me why, but they were willing to medicate each one of those symptoms.
Now, this is really the tragedy in America today. A simple problem like hormonal decline or imbalance goes unrecognized by most mainstream physicians because they're not trained to think about that in that way, particularly about symptoms. So what they do is they palliate, they mask the symptoms with various drugs. So you'd be given antidepressants, sleep medications, anti-anxiety medications, anti-inflammatory medications, anti-arrhythmics for your heart, a whole host of antidotes trying to mask the symptoms.
Yeah. And by the way, they said to me, each one of those medications we're going to try to give you could damage your liver, so come in every month to be tested.
So, and that's because drugs, of course, and we've talked about this before, are toxins. And the body has to detoxify them. They're toxins, which means they're poisons. So you can't poison yourself to good health. Why don't physicians think about the underlying cause of the problem? So if people are having these symptoms and they are the classic features of low thyroid or sex hormone imbalance or even adrenal fatigue with the adrenal hormones, if it's a decline in that, why don't we give the patient an opportunity to replenish those hormones? Because as we age, our hormone levels go down. Right. And women go through the change of life. Men go through andropause. They have similar effects as well. Why don't we simply replenish? You know, it's kind of like a tank, a gas tank. It gets low. You want to put gas back in the tank. If you're taking a long trip, you don't want to go on a quarter of a tank. You want to have a full tank when you leave the house. So why don't we do this with our hormones as we age? If our hormone levels decline, even though you've still got some gas in the tank, you only got a little bit, why don't we fill it back up so you're running on a full tank every day? And
we have a better understanding of, you know, the sex hormones and thyroid now, but when you say adrenal fatigue, what is that?
Well, your adrenal glands, of course, make cortisol and adrenaline. Adrenaline is, you know, if you have a big football game, you're all excited about it. You get adrenaline rush, or you get in a wreck or something. You get an adrenaline rush. That's the acute hormone that we have for stress. Yeah. But we have cortisol for chronic stress. The adrenal gland produces cortisol to help us overcome stress. It supports the adrenal glands. It's an anti-inflammatory hormone. And as we age and we're under a lot of stress, the adrenal glands become fatigued.
Yeah.
And when they're fatigued, you don't produce enough of the adrenal hormone cortisol, and you don't feel well. So it adversely affects your thyroid. It affects the sex hormones because the hormones work together synergistically. They work together in unison.
And so when things are out of balance, the other thing it affects is even your immune system,
Right.
and you see your body act out, if you will, things like allergies, for example.
Right, allergies and recurrent and chronic infections. So what we see in people that have hormonal decline, we see the fatigue, the difficulty with weight, cold sensitivity, can't think clearly, depressed moods, mood swings, joint muscle aches and pain.
You can't explain it except to say you feel bad.
Stomach disorders, they get recurrent and chronic infections, loss of romantic moods and inclinations. All these things go down, and you get puffy and pale, and the hair falls out. And they go to the doctor, and the doctor goes like, "Sweetheart, everybody in your age group feels that way. Here, take an antidepressant." And that's what's so sad, because that's not the problem.
But even the testing has to be specific. That's why it's important to go to somebody who specializes in...
Well, somebody that does more than look just at... If all your doctor does is look at your blood test, and he doesn't listen to you, guess what? You better switch doctors. Go to a doctor that'll listen so he knows how to address the underlying problem that is causing the symptoms rather than palliating it or masking it with drugs.
It's comprehensive in that you look at the why, you listen to the patient, you spend time with the patient, and then you have a complete program to get that person back to their good normal, if you will. Dr. Hotze, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
Dr. Hotze has written 2 books about hormones and hypothyroidism. Visit HotzeHWC.com/GDH to get your free copies. All you have to pay is shipping. Dr. Hotze brought a copy of his book for everyone in today's studio audience as well. Hotze Health and Wellness Center is having a week-long online summit dedicated to anti-aging. To register, visit HotzeHWC.com/anti-aging. And for more on Hotze Health and Wellness Center, you can call this number, 888-473-5531, 888-473-5531. We'll be right back.